clone Tyrone all night. If you up, smash that black button. Welcome to Black and Black Times of Petty. I'm your host, Cthulhu Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the Vista. Smoky out fam with all the dankers and dank shit on my left. Old ninja in the world, old ninja.
A pimp, a hoe, and a drug dealer walk into a bar.
All right, far right. Engineering on the ones and twos, choke people out on threes and fours. Chronos.
Hey, Comic-Con without Hollywood actually is pretty good. To be honest, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
I'm here, y'all. Be thankful.
Damn.
Hopefully, folks in the chat and all that can hear us and comment and all that. But give us some stats.
I will give you some stats in a second. Sorry, I was doing some stuff as all this was going on. So first in the chat is nobody, because we're late. So sorry about that. There's a slight. Do you guys hear an echo at all?
I do not.
No.
I do. That's fucking weird. And listener of the week would be Zor. So there you go.
ZOR?
Z0R. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because I asked him live in the chat how do you pronounce his name, and he said it is Zor.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
So there you go.
I got to know more about Zor. Put stuff in the chat. Tell us about, what it's like being Zor. I need to know. Zor sounds interesting.
So wait, hold on. Isn't Zor like an old 80s like cartoon show or old comic or something?
Well,
Am I mistaken?
that person Zor will have to let you know.
If he's in the chat, then he'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
But he ain't there yet.
I don't even know. He's one of my good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm pretty sure he's explained it to us before too. That's even worse.
I mean, we're old. So
yeah,
there's that.
We be forgetting, man.
I got gray hairs and a receding hairline. So
Oh, you can see my gray hair on the chat.
Yeah.
If you're watching,
I can't
by
see
the way.
it. My camera's all frozen.
it's not frozen. Everybody else.
Yeah, I can see all y'all moving and grooving.
I got the Twitch feed open, so I'm watching on there. And it looks like the right categories on finally. So
nice. I'm sorry. So Zor was a listener of the week. Usually, this is about that time where we pour out something yellowish brown, frothy, sometimes warm. Going down the gutter. What we doing?
Old Ninja's gotta hook us up.
yeah. So this week we're pouring out some Miller High Life, $40.
Champagne of beers.
What's up?
The champagne of beers.
If you say so. I mean, I guess that's a personal preference, but
MGD, baby.
Anyway, make my stomach turn thinking about this shit. We're gonna start off with
What's
Tony
wrong with
Bennett.
MGD? I'm just saying.
All those warm ass fucking $40 beers. MGD. I mean, they don't. MGD's not even that like. They do the.
Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still around. Yeah,
MGD was my go-to beer when I was in the Marine Corps. I would drink at least one 18-pack every 2 days because it was $9.99 at the PX with no tax. It was great.
Damn, you weren't drinking that Pabst, that Blue Ribbon, because that's
MGD was better. It was smooth.
Yeah, everybody. Apparently, people that are west or east of the Mason-Dixon line were drinking Pabst in like the gallons.
All I know is I used to think Rolling Rock was very classy, and I'm still
That's the green bottle one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
The horse.
So those of you who are probably 19 to 25, Rolling Rock is basically American Heineken.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
The other green bottle beer.
Yeah, the green bottle. All right.
Are they still around?
Yes, Rolling Rock is still around. They're on campuses all across the U.S. Okay, so we're going to start out with Tony Bennett, who was an American jazz and traditional pop singer. He had many accolades, including 20 Grammy Awards, a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys, 2 Primetime Emmys. He was named an NEA Jazz Master and a Kennedy Center honoree, and founded the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts in Astoria, Queens, New York. He sold them more than 50 million records worldwide and earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He fought in the final stages of World War II as a U.S. infantryman during the European theater. Right after he was finished, he developed his singing technique and signed with Columbia Records and had his first #1 popular song with "Because of You" in 1951. He never changed his style. He believed that young people could enjoy his music even if given a chance. In the actually in the aughts, I guess the aughts to current times, he was performing with a lot more popular artists such as Billy Joel, Christina Aguilera, Aretha Franklin, Willie Nelson, Queen Latifah, and Lady Gaga. He is the oldest person to release an album of new material at the age of 95, which got him into the Guinness World Book of Records. In February of 2021, Bennett revealed that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2016. Due to the progression of the illness, he continued to record, due to the slow progression of the illness, he was able to record and to tour and perform until he retired due to physical challenges, uh, which was announced after his final performances on August 3rd and 5th, 2021. He died at the age of 96, I believe, last week. And
Hey,
then
real quick, shout out to Tony Bennett. I didn't know this until after his passing, but a lot of folks say that he was very supportive of the civil rights era in a time when that was very dangerous for him to do so. And I give him props because that was very much against the zeitgeist of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and maybe the 2023s. But big props for that.
uh, springboarding off of that, I'll give you a quote that he has said. He has said, and I quote: "My life experiences, ranging from the Battle of the Bulge to marching with Martin Luther King Jr., made me a lifelong humanist and pacifist, and reinforced my belief that violence begets violence, and that war is the lowest form of human behavior." End quote. So that is Tony Bennett because he lived through those eras of his life. He fought against Nazis, marched alongside Martin Luther King, and was able to and performed Sinatra style. Even though he's compared to Sinatra, he didn't like try to outdo or side. He tried to do his own thing, carve his own way, which he had, and was able to perform until he was 90 fucking 95.
I might be wrong on this, but I think he did either a duet couple of songs or even an entire album with the late Amy Winehouse.
He did at least a song. At least
He did at least a duet.
Okay.
He's also performed. Did he? I don't know if he performed Whitney Houston. I think he might have, but I'm not. But yes, he did duet. He's done numerous duets, but I think he's only done full albums with like Amy Winehouse and Lady Gaga.
I heard he did. I heard he did a duet with Sexual Chocolate, and it was awesome.
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, I think Tony Bennett went on tour with Lady Gaga. Like they had like a whole show performance that they were doing together.
They do, but they also have an album together. It started with the duet,
Yeah.
and then went onward because she was after Amy. Because with Amy Winehouse and Tony Bennett, that was a hit. That was a very popular like duet single. That was very, very popular. And because of that, after Amy Winehouse had passed, Lady Gaga kind of stepped in and like she basically filled in for Amy, and then it turned into this huge thing.
You got to give props to somebody who was at the time, I think in his 80s then, to get down with newer pop singers. You know what I mean? Like you don't usually fucking see that shit. You know?
And that was part of his belief that if he can get younger talent to listen to his style of music, and it worked. It worked for him. He was able to sell.
Yeah.
And he was right. And he introduced people that would usually never listen to his music or didn't even know he existed because of working with popular artists. And I knew who he was because I'm old as fuck. But the fact that he was able to introduce a new generation to his style of we're talking the Great American what do they call it? The Great American Songbook. Which, if you don't know, this is an actual book of songs from like early America that have been passed down for like centuries. It's not a canon book, I guess, but it's just like a traditional book of songs and show tunes that are added. I guess they add to it every so often. But a lot of stuff that Frank Sinatra was doing, a lot of stuff that Count Basie and other like very classical and famous artists, they would perform from this book. It's got everything in it, and it's still out there today. I don't know where it's kept, but
Real quick fact for folks who are getting older, or even folks who are really young. Statistically, not all the time, but statistically, you're going to love the music you hear from age 10 to 25 for the rest of your life. Like, that's going to be your fucking jam. That's going to be your fucking favorite shit. As you get older, you tend to get into less new fucking music.
You know what's interesting? I had this
you
conversation
can
today
call it music.
with Kay, and it's about like the growing up in the '90s. Because it's weird because I know people that were born in the '90s and they call themselves '90s kids, and I'm like, I don't consider them '90s kids, like at all. And it's like it's very weird because it's like I don't call myself a '70s kid because I didn't grow up in the '70s. You know what I mean? Like I was born in the '70s, yes, but I grew up in the '80s and '90s, and I consider myself a '90s kid. And so when I hear somebody say like, "Oh, I'm a '90s kid," and they were born in the '90s, it's like, what the fuck do you know about the '90s? Like, yes, you might know some of the music from the '90s, but you definitely were not like, you weren't that affected by the culture the way
Aware.
that I was when I was actually alive and like had consciousness in the '90s.
Yeah.
And it's very weird for me to hear that. It's like, and it's not even like this. I think this shows how much of how like the '90s is like really like a fulcrum point. Not really a fulcrum point, but it's a sticking point for like a lot of American society because it was so substantial. And I think that when you hear like these boomers kind of downplay the '90s, it's like no, like the '90s was like it's one of the most significant decades fucking ever. And for somebody to try to tell you that it wasn't, they're just flat out wrong. And don't get me wrong, there's been in previous generations, yeah, they had wars and shit like that, and they had all this other, but the '90s was something else. Like the internet coming up, the change of technologies, the changes of our like social hierarchy, and like there's a whole bunch of shit that happened, good and bad, that just it changed the world, and not negatively. It was mostly positive.
Prodigy, do you have like Chris Brown playing in your background?
Sorry. You know how my household is. People
Yeah, I
don't.
know. I'm like, who's out there getting it over there? Like, what's going on, baby? So, you don't have headphones? You got no
Sorry.
headphones?
Well,
I'll handle it.
I can barely. It's barely picking up on my end. So
Really? You can't hear that? I
I hear
mean,
somebody
it's
getting
it's
stabbed, but I mean, people getting stabbed.
no,
People
no.
getting stabbed. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
It happens.
it happens. I get it. So continuing with the RIP list, and speaking of the '90s, we have Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, that was today. That was fucking
That was
amazed.
today.
Well, I'm not amazed. I was saddened by that.
Yeah, so Sinead O'Connor was an Irish singer who made famous for singing of Prince's "Nothing Compares to You." She found early success in the 1987 release of her debut album, The Lion and the Cobra, which achieved gold status and earned her a Grammy nomination for Best Female Vocal Rock Performance. Her international breakthrough came with the release of the second album, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got, which included the arrangement of Nothing Compares to You, a song written by Prince, and he released under his side project, The Family. But O'Connor's rendition reached number one in several countries and remained atop of the charts in Ireland for 11 weeks. That's a long time. The song earned her a Grammy nomination for Record of the Year, as well as another Best Female Vocal Rock Performance nomination. Uh, she went on to release 8 more albums and was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Music Video long form for her live concert VHS. Yes, I said VHS. You rewind the tape. Year of the Horse in 1990. Her 1996 song Famine also received a Grammy nomination for Best Music Video short form. In 2012, the song Lay Your Head Down, which she performed for the soundtrack of the film Albert Nobbs, received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Song. The album won her a Grammy for Best Alternative Music Performance. She has been plagued by controversy uh, since 1993, pretty much. And O'Connor ripped a picture of the Pope into pieces while singing an a cappella version of Bob Marley's War on Saturday Night Live as a protest against sexual abuse within the church. NBC received 4,400 complaint calls that day, or the next day. She also wrote a letter to Miley Cyrus in 2013 about not letting the record industry, quote unquote, pimp you out. She also shared plans to she shared plans to tour in Australia, New Zealand in 2024, and in Europe and the United States and other territories in 2025. She had an album coming out in 2024, but unfortunately, she died today at the age of 56.
Young.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
like the controversy with her tearing up the picture. That basically killed her career.
I do.
Was when she tore the picture of the Pope up, and then look, years later, like how much controversy, even still to this day, about these priests, raping little kids, and they just move them around like fucking chess pieces, and they hide them, and it's fucking wrong. And the fact that she got her career destroyed over something that was 100% true, is pretty messed up, and it shows like the power that organization has, and it's pretty unfortunate that occurred, and that, I mean, but beyond her career, but the fact that little kids' lives are getting destroyed daily, and people just they'll talk about drag queens and fucking and reading time, but not about priests, sexually assaulting kids.
Can I say this real quickly? I also find it interesting that a lot of people get bent out of shape over, like, in majority Muslim countries, when the Prophet Muhammad is depicted, and then there's a lot of protests and a lot of anger and riots and all of that other stuff because it's against that religion and all that. Got it. She tore up a photo, and Christianity isn't necessarily known for being so sensitive about all of its high priests that a photo or depiction usually drives people crazy, or it's super duper taboo. But this was like a third rail for her. Kronos is right. It did derail her career. I think she knew it was going to derail her career. She didn't give a fuck. She wanted to send a political message, the right one, that, hey, obviously all the sexual abuse and the hiding of it is completely wrong. It's happened for decades after decade. But I just found that interesting that, there's a lot of Christians that would swear that, depicting a religious figure or high priest or whatever isn't controversial, or even protesting a pope or whatever isn't controversial, no big deal. But she proved that was bullshit in a lot of ways. And I remember being a 13-year-old, I guess, and watching that episode live of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and I didn't understand. I was like, who is this person, and why is she showing up the picture? And then like years later, I was like, oh.
I knew that next week, but I didn't know who was in the picture.
Bro,
I was
you're like fucking 50 million years old. Of course you know.
Yeah, but I wasn't fucking paying attention to who the fuck was in the picture. I didn't know who the fuck that was. I don't follow that particular faith. But
I wonder if she did that. If she did that now, like say, like it was now time, they'd be consider her, I guess, woke by her doing that or something. There would been some kind of controversy just on her actions, not what she did.
You got to back up, old ninja. If someone shows you a picture of the Pope in the Pope gear, you don't recognize that? Is that what you said?
I didn't recognize. So all I saw was her tearing the picture. I didn't see who was in the picture. I was just like, why is she tearing this picture, and who the fuck was that? Probably, I didn't see the robes or nothing.
To be fair, old ninja is probably Yahweh. So he's not gonna understand these, fake idols.
Hey, my favorite thing ever is when the AI did the picture of the Pope in the fucking bubble jacket with the what was it, the diamond encrusted gold chain and shit.
Oh, my goodness.
With the little skull cap. That was great. That was perfect. That was peak.
That's what I should be used for.
I wanted to add that last year we reported that about her son Shane, who went missing for a while. He was found dead because he was having some mental health issues, as she has stated herself that she was going through as an adult, or actually as a teenager through her adult life. She'd suffered through some mental health issues, but her son did too. Apparently, he committed suicide last year, literally at the age of 17. And I think it was summer in 2022. It just says 2022, but I remember we reported on this briefly.
Did they say what was her call to death yet? I don't know.
No,
I
she
know it just
passed
happened
today. Yeah, it just happened today. So
yeah, real quick too. Just to point out with Sinead O'Connor, and Old Ninja kind of alluded to this, but a Irish national, like she's seen some shit when it comes to that country being a Catholic majority country, and some of the downright religious, flat out wars and terrorism that's happened in our lifetime.
She knew about Irish car bombs before it was a fucking drink.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I think it's important to fucking mention that. Like, it wasn't, here's just some random girl from Boston tearing up a pope. No, she grew up during the heyday of some Protestant versus Catholic fucking terrorist war in Ireland. Like, let's call things what they are and put it into that context. And then the other thing I'll mention quickly too, she was seen as very radical even for her hairstyle, which is super low cut and sometimes all the way bald. And at the time, that was for a pop star, a female pop star at that. You never saw that shit. That was kind of off the hook too.
Her haircut was like iconic too. Like it was like when a girl got a haircut short, it is referred to as the Sinead O'Connor haircut. Yep, if it wasn't either that or G.I. Jane, that's the reason why Will Smith got slapped, or other way around. Chris Rock got slapped.
Yeah. Well, it's weird when it's like this. That's a very like Eurocentric thing. Is like having the long hair. I think that other ethnic groups really don't care about long hair. But yeah, like having that like feminine long hair thing, and it's just like it's so the fact that they attach the long hair with like a feminist thing, it's like it's our feminine thing is very weird to me, because you can still look feminine without having long hair. Like if that's the look you're going for. So
yeah, but I'll even say this: it depends on Europe isn't a monolith. I mean, the Norse folks as a whole loved having long reddish or blonde hair, and then you got a whole lot of Native American tribes with long hair and a lot of Indian. I mean, it depends. Hair is such an interesting thing depending on the culture that we're talking about. But I do know for American or Western rather pop stars, at early 90s, late 80s, you didn't see none that looked like her.
No. I gotta go back and listen to her music. Remember, Nothing Compares to You was like a great song. But I can guarantee if I listen to it today, it means something different. Because I remember, like, if you're when these songs came out when we were kids, like they might have sounded catchy, but we didn't really understand. At least me, I didn't understand like the lyrics.
Didn't listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, well, you might have heard, but you didn't like understand. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of songs I go back and listen to now, and it's just like, wow. Like when I go back and listen, I remember like back in the day, I used to think that like Ice Cube songs, I didn't understand like his music like that much. I remember some like Today Is a Good Day. I get that song, or I got that song back in the day. But there was other songs where I just like I didn't really understand, but I liked like how he was saying it, and like now it's like, oh shit, like I understand exactly what the fuck you're talking about now, for the most part. There's some shit obviously I don't agree with Ice Cube about, but that's okay. Like a lot of shit that he was talking about though was like, it's some legit heavy shit that a 12, 13-year-old probably should not understand at all. So, but now I get it.
My favorite was the Whoop There It Is song, which was all about DJs at Magic City talking about seeing the pussy after a woman was flashing it or whatever on stage. And then it became this great like #1 song that nobody kind of tied to stripping and showing poontang.
Yeah, I remember seeing them in Great America.
Tag
team back again. Remember that song? What was that song about? It was about a dude that was dancing with some woman on the dance floor, and he got a hard on, and she noticed it. What the fuck was that?
Feel a little bump coming through on you.
That's close. That's close.
It's too close.
It's close. Too close by neck.
But also, yeah, I mean, shit happens sometimes.
I lived that song.
Oh,
at my senior ball, I was dancing with a girl, and that song was playing, and it happened. I was like,
but
oh
it's
shit.
also it's kind of, I don't know, it's a messed up song if you think about it. It's
it is.
especially it's only
it.
messed up if the woman was like, ew. You know what I mean? Like she didn't. That's not her kind of night.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. The words that he says. He's all, don't try to fight it. Something about like you did it. You done did it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like super rapey vibes in like a lot of older songs.
Yeah,
especially in like was it the Jodeci or Belle DeVoe song? I think
it was Belle DeVoe, the underage part.
Yeah,
backstage underage.
Yeah, backstage underage. And somebody tried to argue with me. Like, oh, well, underage can mean, like, no, underage means 18 in America. We all know this. They're from America. They were below 18. And then he's talking about getting a fucking condom. So he's fucking an underage girl. And it's in a song that's very popular.
The worst thing is,
the song was written by R. Kelly.
Yeah. But depending on the state, it could be, as we've already talked about on this show, it could be under 15.
Still, I mean...
Which is even worse.
As like an older guy... I think I might have talked about this before on the podcast, but like if you're like below, probably like at this point 27, maybe even 30, like you're too young for, like if I was single, you're too young for me. Yeah. Like it's just, you don't have a lot of life experience. I don't, and what it comes down to is like, if something bad happened to you, I don't think you could figure it out. And that'd be fucked up for me to say, but there's a lot of other shit that I just don't want to deal with. And it might sound fucked up, but and also it's like the fact that I have like so many more resources than other people. I don't know. It just seems kind of like unfair, And I find it gross when like you see like a 25-year-old dating like an 18-year-old or a 30-year-old dating, especially a 30-year-old dating an 18-year-old or somebody that's like in their early 20s or like late teens. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you can't find somebody like your own age. Like, to me, it's weird. Might sound weird to y'all. It's all good.
It's not that. It's not weird, but I also want to say this. I can understand that sometimes it doesn't have to make sense to me from a relationship standpoint. As long as everybody's an adult, more power to you. But I will say for me, I'm getting older, and let's say I have some terrible health issues all of a sudden, I want you not to freak out and know what the fuck to do.
That's what I'm talking about. Shit like that. like if I might legit break my fucking hip, you gonna be there for me? Mm-hmm. And also, I'm gonna ask Prodigy, if when your daughter hits 18 and like some 27-year-old decides to try and date her, like how would you feel about that?
I mean, look, it's not that I would love that. I get how that's a very, very ugly scenario. I get it completely. What I will say, though, is when two people are grown and we're outside of that whole legal area,
that's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's up to those two people. Hopefully, she'd be treated right. Hopefully, all those other things. But I also think it's not a wise decision. I wouldn't be this supportive, happy dad, but let's say she's 28 and the guy is 58.
That's a little different. But I mean, it's still a large age gap. But at least I think at 28 you're at least very near getting your shit together.
Hopefully,
you know what I mean. And also knowing how to get that money because that dude's gonna die before you do. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Slip on a banana peel and break his hip.
The weird fucked up part is, but you're right that you could be completely broke at 18, or you could be selling feet pics at 18, 19 years old and be making six figures.
I mean,
you don't know.
Yeah, but it still comes down to like, would you take care of me when I'm broken?
Yeah. And the answer is usually no.
Yeah, that's like, because like the shit that I went through, y'all know what I went through in the past couple months. Like if I was in my 20s, I don't know if I would have done all that. You know what I mean? Like to be honest, because I was immature. Yeah.
And I will also say this because it doesn't get talked about a lot, but it still certainly goes on. There's guys who are 21, 20, 18, 19 who are dating 35, 38-year-old, 48-year-old women.
Yeah, no, it's very, for me, it's like, it's not gender specific. Because like I see like the cougars out there getting the young ones. And like, I think that it's still wrong, but it has less of a, like sexual assault vibe to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I definitely hear you. I feel like I have to point it out just because we've seen so many cases that don't get talked about like those high school teachers, junior high teachers,
Yep.
and boys, who literally do get raped and preyed upon.
They do.
And
Yeah.
for the
having
most
babies
part,
for their teachers.
yeah, and for the most part, the public looks the other way. The judge looks the other way. There's a slap on the wrist, if anything, and it's rape, like plain and
It is.
simple.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
That
All
was a
right,
fucking hard turn. Anyway,
yeah, we took yeah.
You have
We haven't even got started. We just barely got through the RIPs.
Ninja has something else to talk about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so last Wednesday, reason why I wasn't here because Sensei Old Ninja has left this world. My father, he had passed that afternoon, so I couldn't be here on the past. So he lived longer than his father, and that was, I guess, a fear. I think a fear a lot of intelligible black men
I do.
are kind of thinking about now. Like, am I going to live longer than my dad, or will I die before my dad? Will I die before either of my parents? It's unfortunate. But yeah, he lived longer than his father, which is what he was afraid was not going to happen. He was 67. He passed at his home at the time, so he's still in medical examination phase. So because he didn't die at a hospital, they have to do like a preliminary kind of examination. They don't call it an investigation unless they think foul play was involved, which pretty sure it wasn't. He lived in like what is it we say? Some people call it the armpit of California, kind of like the Fresno area, kind of area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a
The
lot of
Central
people call
Valley.
it. Yeah, a lot of people. Well, he lived in Kern County,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is there
Still
out
Central
there.
Valley.
Yeah, it's still central, but I mean, because he's close to Fremont. But it's we're talking out there. Temperatures get to almost 120,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking like a pretty metropolitan city is out there. Like those people who live in Arizona or Tucson, where it gets like 120 out there, and y'all are just like, oh, this is fine. No, it's not fine. It's a terrible condition. But it was hot out there that day, and he had some underlying health issues as well. But he was a man. It was strange because he was one of those um, men that we talk about today where they didn't really show a whole lot of affection or maybe didn't know how. He came from a very large family. He had 9 brothers and sisters, and he was the oldest out of all of them. So
Wow.
he felt like he had to be more of a leader than I don't know, than like I guess a loving brother and a father figure to some. He was really, really, really about business because he had his own business for a short while with his father. Um, he was the kind of man that had like, was it where your ambition is longer than your reach type thing? Because when the business he started was a courier business, and he felt that at the time, this is when DHL came about. That was it the I forgot what DHL sounds. They're basically a courier network across the world, but he felt that they were doing it wrong and that he was going to overtake them. That's how big his dreams were when he started his business. But unfortunately, some things had happened to him that derailed his whole dreams, and he kind of like stopped pursuing that kind of stuff. But yet he still talked to me as if he was giving out like a economics or business like courses or whatnot. So it's very weird because a lot of people say that I'm mysterious, that I like to keep things close to chest, and I think I definitely got that from him. So there are things about my father that I didn't really know. I'm still finding out to this day because he played things close to chest. Um, I didn't know until I was like 18 that he could play basketball. All he talked about was business, and all of a sudden, him and my grandfather are running routes on a court. I was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Never seen you two be athletic at all. And then He just kind of kept trying to give me sage advice, like definitely advice on how to be a leader. He used to say to me, I'm sure y'all have heard this too, when he'd say, you're a leader, not a follower. Don't be like them. You carve your own path. He had the same mentality kind of as Cronus does about business. Like he was tired of working for other people and making them money when he felt like he could do that. So he started his own business. So he had that kind of mentality. That was the kind of man my dad was. So yeah, so I'm gonna say it.
Oh, Ninja.
Mm.
R.I.P. to your dad. But also, if you want to know what DHL means, it's Dalsey, Hillbloom, and Lynn.
Really? Yeah, I didn't. I could have sworn it had something to do with international stuff, but yeah, I had no idea what it was.
I thought it meant dick hanging low.
Oh, damn!
Damn.
In a van. So now I know how Bang Bus started. There you go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Man,
That's the real meaning of
Dad.
DHL. Actually, we got to change the name of the podcast to that. The real meaning of DHL. It was going to be Old Ninja is probably Yahweh, but the real meaning of DHL is better.
There you go.
Props to your dad, man. Condolences to your family. Hey.
Yeah, man. It's not easy losing a family, especially when it's your parents. Like your parents are like the first person you see when you're born, basically, and just losing them it's not easy.
It's definitely
they're definitely higher than A class celebrities.
Oh yeah, they are. They're your first celebrities.
Yeah,
I mean, to
first
you,
hero, everything.
It's weird because all these people are trying to ask me questions or tell me how to handle this situation. So it's very strange to me, where it's like handling like someone affairs that you have. They're an adult. They live their own life. So it's like, well, now I have to come in and like tie up their affairs. Basically, like end all the stuff that showed that they existed in the country. So very strange.
I mean, I think all of our dads on here on this podcast, they've all passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get to this point to where when your parents, either one of your parents, both my parents have now passed, and you get to this point in your life where it's like, nobody talks about what it's like really until your parents pass. Nobody talks about what it's like when your parents pass usually. And so when you get to that point and your parents pass, like I found myself at least like wholly unprepared of what it would be like to have my parents pass away. My mom, I knew it was coming. But my dad, it was like totally out of nowhere. I talked to the guy the day before, and it was fucking weird. And I don't think that as we age that people realize like how important it is to have a parent, even as you age. Yes, your parents are super important as you grow up as kids because obviously you need to learn from them and you get all these skills from them and you kind of your personality grows from both of your parents, and then as you move out you still need your parents for like advice, and I think that people don't put as much value as they should when it comes to that advice because when you're in your early 20s and late teens, like you don't value their opinions anymore because you just want to get the fuck out and you want to start your own life, but your parents still have like a lot of valuable opinions to give you and like sage knowledge, and unfortunately like for a lot of people, like they just don't recognize it until they get a little bit older, and when you get a little bit older, that's you have less time with them, and it's terrible, and I mean, nobody thinks about that usually, like how much time you have left with your parents to really help you out. And it's not even it's just like little shit, just like I wish that I could have like went back and like talked to my parents about like what it was like when they were kids, and now that's gone. I could never talk to them about that again. I could never talk to them about like a lot of shit, and it's fucked up. So if you listen to this podcast and your parents are still alive, like call up, talk to them, ask them how it was like when you were a baby, when you were a kid. Talk to them about what it was like when they were kids, and see what the milestones in their lives were, because they had life before you did, and it shaped them to be the parent that they were to you. So yeah, just talk to your parents more. I know it's easy to just like not talk to them. I do the same thing. Like my stepdad is still alive, and I should probably talk to him more. And after this podcast, actually I talked to him today, but before that, it's been a while. Now, I'm gonna change that, and hopefully, everybody listens to this. Talk to your parents more.
And one of the worst feelings to have after someone passed away is thinking like, I wish I would have talked to him more.
Yeah.
Like just that guilt, kind of, it doesn't eat at you, but it's like, God, I wish I had just a little bit more time. Like when my dad passed away, like I really wish I had more time with him just to learn more of. I mean, because if you're a fan of the podcast, like I only knew my dad for like the last 10 years of his life, because he wasn't in my life growing up. I found him when I was 30. But yeah, I just wish. I mean, even though I knew I had limited time, like I wish I had more time in it. But there was like things that got in the way. But yeah, if your parents are still around, try to spend more time with them as you can, because you never know.
Let me add this to it, and I agree with everything you guys just said. It's really fucking hot, and like especially the Central Valley and Arizona and Southwest and whatnot. Heat kills more people than floods and hurricanes.
Yep. It's
and
the number one.
It's the number one, and everything else is a distant second or third, like combined. Heat is a serious killer because it actually affects the medications that you take. And so just like it affects them from a chemical standpoint and like atomically and whatnot. Well, all I'll say is this: heat is really hard on the very young, and it's very hard on the elderly. And especially if you have underlying health conditions, take care of people, take care of yourself. It's hot as fuck throughout most of this country, and even for our international fucking listeners, heat is a killer that people sometimes underestimate. It makes your brain not fucking work right. People don't hydrate well. Heat is a fucking motherfucker, be aware of it.
I just turned my AC on. If you heard in the background, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'll open up my window.
On that note,
getting hot here, like Nelly said.
Yeah. So on that note, we don't know cause of death as of yet. I won't know for another 2 weeks. So I'll be like, once the coroner's office contacts me, should have a report for me or whatnot. But the thing is, in 2009, his middle brother died because he was in heat exposure. What had happened, he had gotten drunk and passed out behind like a Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
it was 120. He was 120 that day, and someone tried to wake him up. He got up for like a second, and he went back to sleep because he was drunk as fuck, and he died because of the heat exposure.
Yeah,
dude, my great grandmother, she passed away because of heat. Like she was working out in her backyard and she fell, and there was nobody around to help her, and she just died in her backyard. It was like they found her, she was still like just laying on the ground.
Damn, man. Yeah, it's one of those things where, especially for elderly, people don't really think about it, but every fucking summer it's hot as fuck, and heat stroke is real.
This year is the hottest on record so far. And when I say on record, it means human record. So yeah, if you want to be contrarian and be like, oh, well, we had the Ice Age. Well, we weren't fucking on record back then, okay? They didn't have fucking thermometers. So in modern human history, this is the hottest year on record. And modern humans are not designed to deal with this sort of heat, especially in certain areas. So I expect this year to have a record amount of heat deaths, especially like in places like Arizona, where the last time I checked, it was at least 20 days straight of 110 degrees or above, and at nighttime it didn't fall below 100.
God damn.
That is hot as fuck.
Yeah. Same thing in the Sacramento area. So where it's been 80 or something in the Bay, it's been 90 to 110. I think the hottest has been is 110 in San.
No, it's been hot. It's definitely been hotter than that. Yeah, when I was out there for my cousin's kid's birthday, right, yeah. it was easily my thing went up to 116. I was like, this is fucking impossible.
Yeah, I got a solution for you guys. You know what? Y'all should come down to San Diego. I'm just saying it has not hit 100 degrees yet.
I was just fucking there. I was just fucking there. I was there 3 weeks ago.
So. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back. He came through.
Well, I did not. Wait a minute. What?
You couldn't make it because you had some stuff going on.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah,
but right. I did see Prodigy. We went out. Did we? We went to a brewery. Did you buy stuff from the brewery?
Which one?
Like,
it was in Little Italy.
Some rando,
rando spot.
It was cool though.
The one thing I'll say too though, don't get me wrong. I love drinking, hanging out. I get it, but alcohol, like you were saying with your great uncle or whatever, old ninja.
It's my father's brother.
Yeah, isn't that your great uncle?
Uncle,
your uncle.
Regular
uncle. My uncle. My great uncle. I have a couple of them. They're still alive. Uncles. My great uncles are my grandmother's brothers.
Yeah, my bad. But so you're with your uncle, but folks underestimate. Like, okay, you're used to drinking a few beers, having a few shots when it's like 70. That's a whole different world when it's 120, man. That's
well, see, I've been acclimated in other parts of the world. I've gotten drunk as shit in fucking Qatar when it was like 120 degrees. Actually, that was a bad day because I was in the pool all day, and then I remember I woke up on the on the floor of the bathroom in my hotel room, and then somebody brought my shoes to me, and I was like, I had shoes? Yeah.
The worst to me is always when it's like a place like New Orleans or Georgia or Florida where it's
humid as fuck.
Humid too. Yeah. Humid will zap the fuck out of you. If you're drinking and it's humid and it's 100 degrees, fuck that noise, man.
Dude, I don't even want to go into what happened to me in Louisiana. Like drinking down there was a bad idea for Blue. There's a lot of yelling and arguments going on, and me almost getting tased.
I remember that story. I remember the story. I remember.
The ghetto Powerpuff Girls.
Oh yes, I do. Oh, I remember this fucking story. Holy shit, that shit is wild.
This was like literally the longest RIP ever, and also Sage Advice. Sage Advice.
I'll be right back.
After school specials.
Let's keep it moving. Where would you like to go? I get Prodigy's going. He's got to take care of some adult shit.
He'll be back.
You got to go pee.
Where are we going?
Well, we should talk about what you experienced this past weekend. What did you attend and what the fuck?
That's what everybody wants to know. Well, biggest thing that happened last week.
I got chlamydia, and I'm just.
I
did not get.
Hey, there's a pill for that now.
There is a pill for that. So Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, the big one.
Yeah, 2023.
Was this past weekend or like last week? Because it started on Wednesday. I didn't go on Wednesday though. I started going on Thursday, and it was actually really interesting because I didn't know how to. So usually for Comic-Con, I'm looking for interviews. I'm looking for certain panels and stuff like that. But this year, because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, I knew it was going to be kind of different, so I kept it kind of loose. I knew there were some things I wanted to go to, like the Spider-Man 2, the game panel, and a couple other things. But beyond that, I didn't feel comfortable like trying to secure interviews with any kind of actors when I knew that the strike was on, and Marvel had pulled out. A whole bunch of other, Max, HBO pulled out, a whole bunch of other places pulled out because of the strike. But what I can tell you, with no hesitation, really, this was a great con. Still, I think honestly that the past few, like I want to say almost decades, at least a decade of Comic-Cons has been so focused on Hollywood that we kind of forgot what Comic-Con was all about, and it's about the fucking comics. Yeah, so this year, because of all the cancellations, the floor of Comic-Con was more packed. And because it was more packed, I saw like a bunch of more independent comics booths way more packed, and it was great to see. And like seeing people go into Artist Alley was fucking insane. Like I did a couple of vlog videos, which I'll put out eventually. I just got to edit them. But like me even like looking at Artist Alley, I was like, fucking no. Like it was too many goddamn people like trying to get shit done. Which is so this must have been great for the comic and artist industry that were at Comic-Con, because of the fact that Hollywood was not there. And honestly, in the future, I think there should be less of an emphasis on Hollywood and more an emphasis on the actual people that Hollywood kind of imposed upon and use their works to, make movies and TV shows about, because these are the original like people that did it. And it was a good thing, even though I don't like crowds that much, but it was still cool. Let me tell you, I guess, secondary thing, like the best thing about Comic-Con for me, which I did a whole separate video about. I'll tell you at the end, like where to look it up. But Bunny Man, who's been on the podcast more than a few times, we did a podcast series called Black and Yellow. I haven't talked to this dude in a year, a legit year. And last week, I was trying to get him on the podcast, because all you guys were gone for various reasons, which is fine. We all got shit to do, and obviously, y'all know what Odin just went through, which is fucking terrible. And so I sent a text to Bunny Man. I was like, "Hey man, we haven't talked in a while. You want to catch up?" And I didn't get a message back until after I did the solo podcast. After the podcast, this dude tells me, "Oh, I'm at Comic-Con." I was like, "Bruh, like." I'm here. Like I live close to Comic-Con and I have a press pass. So, let's meet up. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's meet up. And he says, let's meet at some random ass booth. I'm like, at a booth? At first I was like, that's fucking weird as shit. Like, why are we meeting at a booth? So I go to the booth, and I couldn't find him for a while. And I sent him a couple texts, and he's like, this is where he's at. So I found where he was at. This motherfucker is the CEO of Oniforce, and it's like an anime / NFT / comic book company. All right. And he's the fucking CEO. And I'm like, dude, like what? So we're like catching up, and I was like, and it's like really cool. Like, let me grab, do I have them right here? Oh, they're on my scanner. Hold on. Give me a sec.
Sure. That's really good for him. Good for Bunny Man.
That's hot shit.
Yeah. And it's funny because Blue has done some work for Bunny Man, where he's like done some film work for him. Because when I see him, he's usually doing film. Like he was working for the Golden State Warriors. He was like one of their photographers.
He's a legit director, and so it's like really cool to see him like kind of blow up like this, like being the fucking CEO of a company and like running it rather well. So this is Oniforce. This is his shit.
Yeah, let's say also with Bunny Man. Last thing I heard from him was that he was trying to start like a kind of like a comic book sharing situation.
He did to help kids learn to read.
Yeah,
which is really cool. And yeah, so anyway, at Comic-Con we met up, and like he's the CEO of Oniforce, and I was like, dude, this is cool. So like we were hanging out for a while, and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have an after party. And I was like, where's your after party? And it's funny because like after he told me that, I was like looking through like my press emails, and yeah, Oniforce was like one of the people, or Devil's Due, which is like the distributor. I had a few emails from them, and I was like, I had no idea that he was even a part of them. And so I got to go to I was like, yeah, man, can I go to the after party? He's like, yeah, man. So he invited me. He's like, yeah, I'll put you on the list. This dude gave me fucking VIP access.
Nice.
Cool as shit. And yeah, I had a really good time. It was at a place I was already at. It was called the Wonder Museum, which if you're in the San Diego area, definitely check out. It's this really cool like digital artwork area. Right when you walk in, they have like this cool like digital floor that's laid out. And when you take a step, it like has like these effects that on the floor when you take a step. It's really cool, and a whole bunch of other like digital artwork and stuff. So it was dope. Just hanging out with that dude again was cool. He's just like, he's a really interesting dude. I'm gonna have him on the podcast again because I interviewed him a couple times when I was there, because the first time I interviewed him, but our fucking mic broke, and I interviewed him again. And the mic that I had, the shotgun mic, was like overblown, but I still released it because I kind of sort of fixed it. But I'll have him on again to talk more about like his journey. But I know right now he went like right after Comic-Con, he went to Japan.
What the fuck?
To like talk about NFTs and shit. So I'm just like, he's doing big things. So shout out to Bunny Man, aka Star Lordy, aka Henry Finn. So yeah, that was a lot. The first day when I was there, and I also got to see the Animayhem thing, which is the Hulu. Hulu's doing a big push for animation, and it includes Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, Futurama just got a new season
brought back for like the third time.
Yeah, and I watched like the first episode, and it's like super.
Oh yeah,
it's very
them making fun of themselves.
Well, it's not even making fun of themselves, but it's like very misogynistic, but in a funny way, and then like make it fair at the end. So it's like to me it was hilarious. And there's a couple. Go ahead.
There's a few Solar Opposites, which is getting in that. So when I was there, they're promoting. When I was in San Diego a few weeks ago, they're promoting the new season, which is in August. I guess there's a new season coming.
Yeah, and when at Animayhem, you get to walk through the park. Remember, do you watch Solar Opposites?
Oh, 100%.
So remember when they have like the ant farm thing, like the people.
Oh, the wall.
Oh, yeah.
The wall.
Yeah. So like the wall, they have like the wall thing in there, and it's pretty funny because like you get mesmerized. And, awesome. Yeah, it's cool. And they have the Bob's Burgers. You can get burgers. I wanted to like eat, but it was like too early for me to eat, so I didn't get anything. But they had Bob's Burgers set up. They have Futurama set up. You have like the tubes and shit, and like the Planet Express.
Oh, yeah, I saw the pictures.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. And the cool thing about the whole Animayhem thing is that it was external to actual Comic-Con. So if you don't get Comic-Con tickets and you want to go to Comic-Con, just fucking go. You don't need. The only reason why you need tickets is to actually like get on the floor or into Hall H or into like the actual like Comic-Con specific like events. But there's a whole shitload of events that are external to Comic-Con. You don't need a single fucking pass for.
Like pretty much all of downtown San Diego is open to the public.
Yep.
Like I remember when Prodigy and I went, like, we went to a restaurant and they had fucking Lara Croft playing. Like you go in there and demo Lara Croft before it even came out. Then had like drinks and food specific to that. Like we went to an after party and like we got to meet the guy from NASA, which is like, whoa, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. Like, and all that was outside of Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, there's so much shit. Oh, so
there's like party boats that's along down the whole entire dock that you can like walk by and like see people, like famous people chatting with other people. Like I think IMDb had like a boat, and they were interviewing a few people.
That boat was back, by the way.
Yeah.
They also had another boat. It was like a beer boat. It was like a pirate thing. But yeah.
Shit, I remember when The Strange was on the air. It's like their final season, so they had built like a I guess a quarter scale of the Statue of Liberty, but it had like a stinger tongue from the Strange. This thing was fucking huge. It was a huge fucking statue, and it was just like you can go there and like take pictures. And I guess they had some stuff about the Strange, but I wasn't even interested in that. Next to that was something I think Prodigy didn't want to see because he's freaking out. But they had a American Horror Story. It was
of the clowns.
No, it was like a 3D or 4D experience. What you had to do is you had to lay down in this room, and they put the monitor over your face, and they had like sounds coming out from around, but then they would show like creepy fucking images. Yeah, I was just like, oh, he didn't want to do it. We were in line for like a hot minute. Well, actually, no. Prodigy was in it for like maybe a millisecond, and then he jumped out. I was like, I'm gonna see you somewhere. I'm like, where you going? He's like, I'm going to do something else.
Can't do it.
And then we met we got to see the cast of Rick and Morty when they were at the Petco Stadium, which is outside the stadium floor. Yeah. I met Ron Jeremy at Planet Hollywood.
Also not
he was just sitting there. Right. It's not. I mean, but at the time I got to meet him, he was sitting there. There's a bunch of stars that are out trying to party in downtown San Diego that you can just randomly, like the actor that plays Rufio from Hook.
Oh yeah, dude.
He was there.
That's my boy.
Yeah, he was at a bowling alley that I think it was with Prodigy. We saw him.
Oh no, we were there.
Was it you? Yeah.
Yeah, it was down at, I think it's at WonderCon though. Like we went to an after party.
But he was
It was
also at Comic-Con. So
oh, nice.
he was at both. So it was just the bowling alley. I was WonderCon, but he was at a bar. I think when I was with Prodigy. Who else? I got to see. Those of you who follow cosplay, almost every big cosplayer in the world is pretty much there.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to find them though, because there's going to be long lines and they're out trying to get their drink on and whatnot.
Well, I mean,
it was very weird.
If you look up it's weird because we're press, but so we get emails, so we can RSVP for this kind of shit, or just get in just early or whatever.
Pass.
Yeah, we get passes, but you can still look up San Diego Comic-Con after parties, and you can find them, and you can still I met fucking Marv Wolfman randomly at WonderCon, a couple years back.
Comic-Con.
Was it Comic-Con?
That was when we went. It was Comic-Con. We're by the water. We're right at this really hot, pristine, high-rise hotel. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then Marv Wolfman rolls up, and he wasn't the only kind of writer, celebrity kind of there. We just didn't know what.
The weird thing is that he was just sitting alone. I was just like, does nobody know who the fuck this guy is?
I didn't know who the fuck he was. I had no idea what Marv Wolfman. I knew the name, but not what he looked like. And he, sure enough, fessed up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Marv Wolfman. How do you do?" I was like, "Oh shit!" Guy was fucking. He was cool as fuck. We've met. I've had the pleasure of meeting the cast of Winona Earp, both at WonderCon and at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So it was very, very cool to see them. Shout out to the whole cast: Shamir Anderson, Dominique Provost-Shockley, especially why can't her name's drawing a blank, but she's on Star Trek Strange New Worlds now. She's in a lot of kind of big budget movies, big name movies, and she's she's getting out there. She's probably going to be a big star in the next 2-3 years. Big household name. Melanie. There you go. Melanie Scafarno. She's star of Winona Earp. She's very, very cool. Very funny. She's very kind of crass, but it works. She's very cool. She's doing big things. She's continuing doing big things.
Right.
Great stuff.
Before I talk about the rest, I need to give a couple of other special shout outs, which I probably should have done right after Bunny Man. Is shout out to Victor VZA because we got to hang out a couple times. And it's funny, the second time we hang out, it was just me and him because other folks didn't make it, and we had a very good conversation. So hey, thanks, man, Victor. I appreciate you coming out and us just chatting it up at Barley Wine. It was cool as fuck. And apparently you have some time. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, we'll have to hang out sometime. We'll make some adult friends. All right, be all right. Because I told him, I was like, he asked me if I made any friends down here yet, and I was like, nah. But
does he live down there too?
What's up?
Does he live down in San Diego? Because I remember he
lives in Chula Vista.
LA
he
earlier.
In the western part of Chula Vista. So we definitely got to hang out, and because he's a good dude. Every time we hang out, he's a great dude, and we had really, really good conversations when we were hanging out. But I look forward to hanging out with him again. So
I remember his daughter cosplaying when we were at WonderCon. That was really cute.
His daughter's in fucking high school now. It's weird as shit, isn't it?
What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. I remember when she was little too.
She's as old as your niece, then, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. But what's weird is I saw VZA without his wife. It's the first time I saw them separately. I think usually it's a combo package. So
yeah. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. It's VZA.
VZA, yeah. So what he does is he takes videos of people doing their artwork. So he's a really big Jim Lee fan, and so he actually got invited to Jim Lee's house to hang out and have dinner with him and shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and so you get to see their process of making artwork and stuff. So it's really cool. And what kind of sucks though is that this year for Comic-Con is that he couldn't. The last time I saw him is that he couldn't get any videos of people actually doing artwork because Artist Alley was so busy. And I saw when he said it, I was like, it's really that busy? Because I was at a different part of the con when we first met. And I was like, it's not that busy. But then it kept getting busier and busier. And then I went to Artist Alley and I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And then I was like, dude, why don't you just aren't you getting these press emails? because like if you get in the press emails, like there's an invitation to like meet with the artist, like, and he was like, nah, and I was like, dude, is it like going to your spam? Like you have to be getting these, because I get them all. I was like, so hopefully next year, if this happens again, like he can get in as press, because hashtag he's press to like get access.
That's great.
I'm on his.
He has a press pass.
Yeah, I know. Every time I see him, he has a press pass. So
I used to collaborate with him too. Back in the day, we used to do the Dank Death Match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, oh man, I think even on our notes right now, because usually for the podcast we have like topics that we're going to talk about, and on our notes, like way kind of down to the bottom, there's like our Dank Death Match, where we're going to do one where it's Justice League versus the Avengers, Magneto versus Professor Xavier, and Luke Cage versus the Juggernaut.
I mean, we could probably. I mean, I'd talk to him,
but the ones we did do with him were a lot of fun.
If we brought him back, we have to like make it consistent, because I felt bad that we weren't consistent enough.
Yeah.
So if we did it again, I want to be more consistent, because I like doing it, and VZA is a way bigger channel than us, so rightfully so.
Oh yeah, he's got almost 500,000 subscribers, a quarter of a million subscribers.
That is a lot. Anyway,
but he does have one of his videos of him. It's of Jim Lee drawing the Joker.
Yeah.
Has 1.7 million views.
Because he's a big Jim Lee guy.
Money.
All right, moving on. The one panel that I went to, because I'm kind of bougie, because I don't like standing in line, was Spider-Man 2, the game.
Oh yeah.
Because I made sure to sign up early, and to get like access to the reserved area, so I was like way up front for the Spider-Man 2 game panel from Insomniac Games, and that was cool as fuck. So we got to see some exclusive footage in the panel, right before the panel. Basically, it showed Miles Morales like flying with like web wings, which is cool as fuck. We got to see some more of the story, and then they dropped the. They told us that Queens and Brooklyn are going to be open in the game, and then also you can go to Aunt May's house in the game, which is pretty fucking dope. And they dropped the Symbiote edition of the PS5, which if I wasn't about to try to move and I didn't have a bunch of dental bills and fucking car bills that are coming up, I might have pre-ordered it, because you can pre-order it, I think, on Friday. The 28th.
The day that the panel happened, you could pre-order right after the panel ended.
Oh, you could? Oh, okay, I thought it was 28th.
No, it was right after you guys ended. It was all over IGN. I was like, what the fuck?
You know what Sony should do? I mean, looking at it from a money-making standpoint, I mean, the skin on the PS5 just pops off. They should just sell the skin too. Like, instead of having to buy a whole new console, like just sell the skins.
I
Like,
would 100% buy it, but also I really
I'll
want
buy it.
I really want.
Hold on, I gotta correct my statement. So, pre-orders for the PS5 console that has Spider-Man 2, that was on after the panel.
Yeah.
The game itself might have been separate, but when they announced the PS5, the exclusive PS5 Spider-Man 2 bundle, that was pre-order at the end of that panel. The game itself could be separate. I don't know, but the
not
console
the game.
itself,
There's a PS5 edition of Spider-Man 2, so
I
have to look it up. But yeah, it's
that was available that
28th. Pretty
okay,
sure.
the game. I think the game separate from that bundle was the 20th, but the console was literally pre-order after that panel. I was like, oh shit, because it's a limited console, so
yeah, it's a bundle. It comes with the game
and like a special controller and big shit.
I'm trying to look it up. When is the pre-order for the Symbiote Edition PS5? Now you make me like look shit up as I'm like
October 20th. Wait, no, Spider-Man.
That's when the game
Spider-Man
comes
2 hits. Yeah, October.
out. I'm not gonna stop. It's gonna take me too long. Anyway, I don't know what day it's gonna drop, but it looks dope. Like, I saw it live. They brought it out with white gloves. Like, not only is the fucking PS5 with the symbiote taking it over look dope, but also the controller with the symbiote taking it over also looked dope. Tony Todd was really cool out there. He did the voice of Venom And he even said like in the panel like we are Venom, like the really cool like Tony Todd Venom voice. I thought it was dope. Gave me fucking goosebumps. Not really.
Fucking awesome.
Is there more stuff that comes with the limited edition console?
No, it's just the game and the skin on the.
Oh, that's got like a figurine.
No, that's a collector's edition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
which is fucking huge. The collector's edition is like, it's literally Venom fighting both Miles and Peter, like on both shoulders. It's fucking huge. It's probably I would say at least it's probably around 20 inches tall, maybe even more.
Damn,
like it's big.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, it's a big figurine.
Like the image you posted on our Facebook page and Instagram. Definitely go check that out at BTI.
Hold on, I didn't share it on those because I shared it on Discord. So if you're on our Discord channel, I shared all the fucking shit from Spider-Man 2 shit on just Discord. So if y'all want to get some like exclusive shit, just hop on Discord.
Yeah, but no, like the image that you showed, like I literally thought like, could you took a picture of the I guess the voice actors doing the game, and like one of the guys had the figurines in front of him. I thought it was like a not augmented reality, just like a clip art or something that was thrown on top of the image. I didn't know that was the actual figurine. Like it was just so detailed. Like it looked really, really good.
Taking that shit live because the crazy thing is, so I wanted to be able to use my like tripod and like take a video of the whole thing, but I couldn't use a tripod.
Oh yeah, you could.
And like where I was sitting, and then I'd have to go over to the side, and then right before it started, they said, "Don't take a video or pictures of certain shots of this." And then, like once the shots came up, and then other folks in the media were like taking pictures, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do that shit too." So yeah, so if you were in our Discord channel, like you saw the Spider-Man 2 thing, like everything that happened in there, basically live. I didn't take a video, but I took like pictures and like I was commenting on it like live. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you want to be added to our Discord, definitely email us at bthenbti@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yeah, bthenbti@gmail.com. Other things that happened, I went to the Bad Idea after party, which is pretty cool because Bad Idea is a comic book company that I like because it's a bunch of like really short series of independent comics. And they have one that was like, I think it was like the world ran out of oil, and so they sent people like this like crazy like military team back in time to like kill more dinosaurs to get oil, and they had a bunch of other crazy ones too. But Bad Ideas is honestly a really interesting independent comic book company that I like, but it's hit or miss, and their after party was like really cool because it was at a Mai Tai place. What are you gonna say, Blue?
So instead of them, maybe figuring out alternative fuels and this and that, they decided to create time traveling to go back in time from oil.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but they're all like crazy stories like that. Like they're really crazy.
That adds to it being a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool to go there, and I got like a. What was it? Is it this one? Where are we at? No Oni Force. Oh, I got 2 Oni Forces. Oh shit! Maybe I'll give one of these away. I have 2 Oni Force comics that were from Comic-Con, and these are probably gonna be worth money, like a lot, relatively soon. So, where's I can't find it now. But I have a comic from Bad Idea that was just for Comic-Con. And I look forward to reading it and then putting it away forever. So, because that'll probably be worth something as well. I'm not like a person that obviously I collect comics, but I don't sell comics because I'm like a dragon and I have a hoard, and my hoard is basically comics. Because if you look behind me, like over this way. That's like 30-something boxes of comics plus a bunch more somewhere else. But it was cool to because their after party was dope. It started a little bit late. That was the only part that sucked. But because they started late, they gave us all free Mai Tais. So, yeah, when we were in line to get there, they were like, "Here, have some drinks." I was like, "Yes, thank you," because I'm way too sober. But then once we got inside, they gave us drink tickets. I grabbed another drink, and then the drink line got way too fucking long. So we were like, all right, because I took Kay there. And I was like, you know what, I'm hungry. Let's get something to eat. So I tried to get a place I tried to get something to eat at, I think it's called Malatai or something like that. But they closed early, and there was like way too long of a wait. So we ended up going like somewhere else. But it was still fun to like get out and do stuff. So like I said, again, you can have fun at Comic-Con without going to Comic-Con.
That's cool, man.
I've been talking for too long. I'm gonna grab another.
Wait, I got some questions. Sure. Did you see any celebrities there? Like,
I mean, Bunnyman is technically a celebrity now.
I guess. Fucking CEO of the company.
There was a guy that he introduced me to that was another comic book creator. There wasn't too many, like, as far as like celebrities, you probably mean like Hollywood celebrities, which
yeah, no. I guess so.
Yeah, so no, because of the SAG-AFTRA strike. I would say that the celebrities that I saw was like Tony Todd at and the voice actors from Spider-Man 2. That was about it.
Oh, do you want to talk about what happened with one of the local comics up here, comic book stores?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. God damn. Shout out to Cape and Cowl Comics for finally getting the Spirit Award of I think it was the Eisner Award, which is I think it's pretty much the highest award you can get for a comic shop. And Eton, he was there, which I didn't know he was going to be there. I didn't know that. Well, I knew that they were up for an award again because they've been like year after year up for that award, and they finally fucking got it, and it's well deserved because if you live in the Bay Area and you have not been to Cape and Cowl Comics, definitely go there. If me and Prodigy were if just me was still up there, we would definitely be at the Cape and Cowl Con that is on August 13th of this year.
It is called the Eisner Retailer Award.
Is it? But it's called, what's the Spirit Award? Isn't there a Spirit Award?
I think the Spirit Award is for writing. If I'm not mistaken, but I'm looking.
Correct.
So it's the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Retailer Award.
There you go. All right, I was gonna say. Yeah. So Eton got it, which is, like I said, well deserved. Great dude. The comic shop is fucking dope. It's probably the best one in, if not the Bay Area, then definitely California. If not the whole entire country, which that award says is so. So there we go. It's the best comic shop in the U.S. Fuck it, the world, because outside of the U.S., the world doesn't exist.
There you go.
Wow.
We gotta hit up Eton and see if we can do some coverage there. I'm definitely willing to down to go. I mean, August 13th is a Saturday.
I still like Lucid because we've been in Lucid. Lucid's been around for a long time, since like the 80s before they did the name change. And there's some pretty crazy shit, and they're pretty good comic book shops.
Well, props to them too. No shade, but yeah, Cape and Cowl.
Blue, if you can go to Cape and Cowl Con, if you have access to our email, just email them and be like, "Hey, I want to go and cover it." You know, because honestly, I wanted to go and like have a podcast there, but if you can just cover it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. Talk to Sweetness. Get this all planned out.
Make it happen. Real quick,
Eton's one of the hugest Batman fans that I know.
Yes.
Like he's huge.
He overshadowed me. He's got the tattoo on his arm that I wanted to get.
Huge. Real quick, I wanted to.
He looks like Paul Rudd.
He does.
He does.
I wanted to give a quick, little bit of a review, kind of some props. I won't do spoiler, but I think Old Ninja may have seen this too. They clone Tyrone is fucking a masterpiece. Like,
Oh my
flat out masterpiece. I didn't know who this writer is. Old Ninja, hopefully you can get the actual name of the writer / director. Give this dude props. Jamie Foxx, motherfucking John Boyega, and Monica Rambeau.
Tiana Parrish.
Yeah, they're all just fucking bringing it. And this one shuts up. It's on Netflix, and it shuts up everyone who's ever said the dumb shit and I'm talking to everybody who said this, that, oh, why are these black British actors taking all our jobs? They're coming for our job. John Boyega played a better drug dealer, hoodnificent dude than almost any black hood movie from the 90s until now. Like, he just owned the fucking role because he's a fucking phenomenal actor. What did you see this one, Old Ninja, and what did you think?
So the writers are Tony Rattenmeyer, and Jewel Taylor.
Yeah.
So it's a writing team, and it's like possibly even, possibly even more writers, but they got the credit. But still, this was so Jewel Taylor's the director.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but he's also he wrote with a writing partner, obviously. So, this was some crazy shit because it was like it was super hoodnificent when you watch the first 20 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? And then shit goes off the rails very, very, very quickly once that shit happens. It becomes like this. I mean, it's not really a drama, but it's weird. So, Tiana Paris plays this fucking street hooker, street prostitute, and she's talking hella shit to her pimp, played by Jamie Foxx, and she's throwing out all these references, and they're like sci-fi, Star Wars references, shit talking lines to her pimp, and I was like, did she just make a Star Wars reference while talking shit? And she did. And she continually does this through the rest of the fucking movie. I don't know what to fucking think. So I was fucking cracking up, but I was like, what the fuck? And then you see people brutally get murdered. Brutally, like holes in the body and shit. And then shit goes fucking, it flips you for a lid like nothing happened. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then shit goes, it is literally like a hood version of the X-Files. Yep. Pretty much. It's like an X-Files episode, but made into like a 2-hour movie, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Everybody needs to watch it. And also, this is going to be me getting on my soapbox. Motherfucking Netflix, y'all need to pay your fucking writers. Because clearly, when they do some original awesome shit like this, they're fucking talented. And John Boyega just reminded me of course, that Star Wars, I'm not throwing shade at Star Wars, but Star Wars and Disney fucked up. This is a phenomenal actor, and they played him like they treated him like shit. Like from Force Awakens in terms of changing the posters in Asia to cucking Finn. Like, they should not have played John Boyega so poorly. I'm glad it gave him a lot of exposure, but he's just a phenomenal fucking actor. And the other thing is, this movie has a whole lot of fucking points to it. Like, real social messages for black people, period. It just does. It's well worth watching. It's funny at times. It's sci-fi. It's just good. And you'll see, I think it was earlier this week, sitting at like 100 or 99% in terms of Rotten Tomato user reviews. And then on the critic side, it was in the high 90s or something like that. So I'm not the only one. It's on Netflix. You already got Netflix. Pop this open, watch it. It's the fucking shit.
Dude, my question is that
I watched this yesterday.
Well, like, how did you guys hear about it? 'Cause I literally saw the trailer today.
I saw the preview earlier.
No word of mouth or anything. I literally saw the trailer today. I was like, oh, this is what you got to talk about. Because that guy said they cloned Tyrone. I was like, they did? Like, did Beyonce get to him? Did his clothes off to the right or something like that? Like, what's going on?
I knew about this like since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So when they had when Netflix had Arnold Schwarzenegger as their employee, they did their upcoming shows.
Chief of Action.
Yeah, he was like their chief action officer. What the fuck? So this was on that list, but I had heard about it before because it was getting buzz around like critics before then. It wasn't finished at the time, but I guess it had been pushed back for some reason. Like, it was supposed to be out in the fall, like around April, if I'm not mistaken. And it got pushed until July finally, and it finally got its release, which was, I believe, last week or so, or this week?
Yeah.
Something. It came out like within the last week or whatnot. So I'd heard about it for quite some time. It was getting a lot of buzz. It finally got released, and then I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to watch it, and I wasn't because I'm getting other people telling me to watch it. Prodigy being one of them. He was like literally the 8th person within the first day that I should be watching this. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna watch this. Y'all need to chill. Like I plan on watching this, and then I watched it. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like that was some crazy fucking wildness shit. I'm like, it feels like a sequel's coming. Like it's just fucking. It was wild. There's a lot of social commentary in the film. Um, it reminds me of when we met Akeem Akil, the creator and producer of the Black Lightning TV show. So we sat down at a table with him at WonderCon, and he said to us, because we're all black at the table, he says, you guys realize that we are the most experimented people in the US, and it's been documented. And he sat there while we are just like, oh shit. He spit facts because it is true. We've been documenting with the Tuskegee project because that was a decades-long project.
More than that,
Actually, no,
look up gynecology. Gynecology in America was black women tortured.
Correct.
So, there was like that black lady who like her blood was like rare that was used for like a cure for stuff.
Henrietta, shit, what's her last name? Slacks? Yeah, let me look.
Yeah. So when he said that to us, he's like, you all know this already. We're like, oh shit. We all looked at each other. I was at the table. I think Blue was with me. I was at the table. I think Blue was behind me, and Cronus was somewhere behind me. And I was like, oh shit, he's right about that. Like, I mean, there's no argument that it's been documented that here in the United States, as a people, we have been experimenting on. And I know that we are not the only ones, but we are probably he said the most was probably more true. And this film kind of tongue in cheek points that out. And they even ask why, like, why are we being experimented on? And like, I'm not truly giving away shit because you can see it in the trailer. But there's
throughout history, I can tell you that we were not considered people.
Oh yeah, 100.
So
well,
it's one of the reasons why like I distance myself from like all this trans bullshit because they don't consider them people. And it's just like, all right, that's like the same thing you did to us. So I'm like, all those arguments that people say about trans people, that's why I just take a step back. Like you're using the same arguments that you used for us of like not being actual people. So,
but don't you
with that shit?
But don't you realize that slaves gained all of these occupational benefits from being slaves?
I just saw that today.
Who the fuck just said that? Who said that bullshit? Was that Kent? No, there was a politician that said some bullshit.
Yeah, wasn't it the dude from Florida, right? Florida man.
Oh no, the guy that's I think he's running against DeSantis. That's some bullshit.
No, I think it was DeSantis, wasn't it?
It is DeSantis, but it's the whole state of Florida's wonderful new curriculum. Yeah. Remember, they took out all African American history or AP courses from high school, and they said that was too close to
woke.
Critical race theory or whatever other buzzword. But the replacement of it in the curriculum, and this is verified, is making all kinds of wonderful apologies for slavery and stating the equivalent of, well, they got all these skills of being blacksmiths and farmers and whatnot. And let me just say this. Even if your bullshit, which is not true, were true, after slavery, you were still not allowed to just be this wonderful farmer on your own, be this wonderful blacksmith on your own per se, without your community being terrorized or you being lynched or killed or whatever. It's complete bullshit. It's literally anti-black propaganda. And Florida is, I know we're going off the rails. I know we were talking about the movie, but Florida is this giant state, influential state. Like California, Texas, New York. Florida is like one of those top 5 or 6 most populated states in the country. It's not a small one. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I want to jump back really quickly to Cape and Cowl. So the Spirit Award, the retailer, there are world. There are stores in the UK that were part of the finalists, and Cape and Cowl beat them out.
Yeah.
There are stores across the country. I do not see a Canadian store on here. At least not something that says. Oh no, there's one from Sakacho. I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Sir.
Wow. You had a seizure like Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I can't. Damn, I can't pronounce this. I believe this is indigenous. I don't know what language, but this looks like this might be Canadian. But most of these are from. Oh, there's even some from Spain.
Yep.
There's some from Florida, Cape and Cowl. So you can look on Comic-Con International. There's 27 stores from across the world, and Cape and Cowl beat them out.
Can I tell you what I miss about Cape and Cowl so fucking much, and why I think it's well deserved on this? It was the only comic shop I've ever been to where it just felt like fucking home, and their recommendations from the staff were all on point. It was just like going to a bar and them saying, you know, Blue, you look like an old-fashioned guy. Let me make you this bomb-ass old-fashioned. Or Krotos, here's a great stone brew, or you know what I mean? Or here's some angel piss fucking, you know.
You say angel piss?
Yeah, like what's the one we always get from SF Beer Week?
Oh, Pliny the Younger.
Angel piss. You know, but like, imagine going into a bar and them already knowing that about you. That's what it felt like going into Cape and Cowl, at least for me, all the time. So props to them.
Actually, real quick, we're gonna talk about this about comics. So at Comic-Con, because there was less of a presence of Hollywood, I decided to actually buy some comics.
Nice.
And it's funny because like down the row from Devil's Due Comics, which is where Oni Force was Black Mask, which I have a few of their comics, mainly because of Cape and Cowl Comics. And Cape and Cowl Comics put me onto this comic called Cal Exit, and they did a special cover for, I think it was Cal Exit, for Cape and Cowl, and I got the guy who wrote it.
It was a good book
for me.
It was a good book.
Yeah. So if you look here, I'm not going to open it too much because his signature's in there, but right there, that's his signature. Matt Pizzolo. He was there, and he signed it for me, and we actually chopped it up about Cape and Cowl Comics because he didn't know that that Eton got that award. So I was like, and I don't think he even knew that they were having a Cape and Cowl Con. So hopefully, him or somebody from Black Mass is going to be at Cape and Cowl Con, because Black Mass Comics is a really cool independent comic book company and makes some cool shit. I also got Black because I didn't read the entire thing. I think I got like one or two, but I got like the hardback.
Oh yeah,
I was just about to ask, was there a trade of that shit?
Yeah, so I got the hardback trade.
Apparently, Warner Brothers had picked up the rights for the film rights like a year and a half ago. So we might see. There's rumors that it might be a series or a movie. I think they're debating on which one. So
good shit. Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I know we got started late, but for me, I gotta dip. But keep it going. I'm just.
Man, you're like the hot work. Oh, God, I can't talk today. You're like the hardest working man in San Diego.
Dude, I'll have to tell you about some stuff, but
yeah, I need to hear it because you're basically James Brown, this bitch. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, this has gotten crazy. But y'all keep it going. I'm done for at least for tonight, but I'll holler at y'all.
All right, later,
Peace.
man. All right, I have to hold on. I have to figure out how to make myself bigger, maybe.
I'll realign everything.
I gotta get some Viagra.
Yeah,
that was a good joke. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Make sure you don't order from
DHL.
DHL.
You know why we didn't laugh is because we're like,
because my dick is already too big. That's
no. We're at the age we might need that medical help. You have to look at your fucking HMOs and shit. Like shit. Might need to order me a bottle of that shit. So, did you know that Black has a spinoff? Like when
which
there was
yes,
Black the comic. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's
called White.
Is it called White? The one with the girls?
Oh, I don't know if it's with the girls, but I saw a comic there called White, and it's in the same artistry as Black.
Oh no! So Black has like it's like a what do they call it? What's it called when you? It's like it's during the same time period as Black, but it's like a side story. So
Okay.
it's a run. They talk about it on Geek History Lesson about the side story because um the two podcast hosts on the show, they read the book and did a very extensive review of what they thought of the series. They were pretty enthusiastic. I always think that Ashley V. Robinson. I always think that she's African American, but she's Canadian. I think Blue, you met them too, right? You've seen them before? Right?
Yeah, I ran into Ashley at WaterCon once.
Okay, I ran into them at Comic-Con the year that I was with Cronus. They were at Comic-Con right across from fucking what's her name? Who's the chick that does the voice of Harley Quinn on animated shows? What? Who? What?
You said Harley Quinn or
Harley Quinn? The voice.
Which one?
Animated voice.
The new one, the new series. The girl from
no, no,
Big Bang Theory.
No, the one from the Batman animated series.
Oh shit, I don't know. Her name's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't think of it.
Oh, Tara Strong. There we go. That's her name. They're
Wait, that's what I said.
That's why I didn't hear you.
Fucking dare.
That's why I asked you to repeat it. That's why I asked you to repeat it.
I was like, was that wrong?
No, Tara Strong.
Right.
Yeah, they're right from Tara Strong. I got to talk to them about some quick things. Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome people.
Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff that came from San Diego Comic-Con. Like I've seen a bunch of new trailers that dropped, like or even shows that came back. There's a new show, or it's like a prequel of Invincible called Atom Girl.
It dropped that day. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it dropped that day, and it's not an episode. It's almost like a mini movie. It's like a full hour long. Atom Eve, that's what it is. Yeah. No, isn't it Atomic Eve?
I'm pretty sure it's Atom.
Or Atom.
As in, like Atom is like the atom bomb. Eve.
Oh, see, I'm thinking Atom as in. No, yeah, it's Atom. Yeah, it is Atom. My bad. I can't read.
Sir.
Anyways, so yeah, it's a prequel to her power, or her getting her power, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But then also the trailer dropped for season 2 of Invincible, and just the way they like teased you on fucking Mr. Incredible. Not Mr. Is this Incredible? What's his name? Omni-Man. No, Omni-Man. His dad, isn't that his dad's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way they teased that he was coming back was fucking perfect. But we also get Paul Cullen, the guy who does the voice of Optimus Prime. He's in there, and there's like
Peter Cullen.
Yeah, Peter Cullen. There is a laundry list of celebrities that are going to be in this new season, and I'm super hyped because last season was great too. But that came from Comic-Con. I know Futurama dropped recently. That's been promoted for a while now, but it dropped on Monday.
So you also know what dropped Comic-Con is Star Trek Strange New World airs on Thursday. When they did the panel for, I guess, like upcoming the episodes and the season stuff or other stuff happening in the season, because I guess there's going to be a musical episode. And I'm like, what the fuck? But the crossover episode of Star Trek Lower Decks and Strange New World dropped after the panel they had on, I think it was Saturday. So it was that day, or literally within that hour, it was on Paramount Plus, the crossover episode of Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds. And it was pretty, I saw it like, I think Saturday or Sunday night. And it was pretty intense, but it felt like the two worlds meshed really well. It was pretty funny. I mean, once again, Jack Quaid knocks it out of the park, and he does a great job. They only have 2 of them cross over to the past. They go to the past. It's Mariner and Weimer. Those 2 go to the past. It's a great episode. It was really good.
Something else dropped. I just totally forgot about.
I'm pretty sure.
At least I saw this today. I saw a trailer for fucking Rick and Morty anime.
Oh yeah,
You get some chance for
yeah.
that?
Good chance to see it.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
I saw the intro for it. It was like it's they ripped it straight from a Japanese animation, but apparently the director of the series is a Japanese director, so it makes sense. But it looks like it's gonna be funny as hell. Like there's scenes like with like Morty with like a katana, he's like running toward like a girl who I think her name's Stacy or something like that. I think that's his dream girl. But it just looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun because at the end of the trailer, the director comes on and he talks about how he's an original fan of Rick and Morty and he's gonna try to like live up to like the tradition of the show with this anime series. So that's I don't know. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be on Adult Swim, which is kind of cool. Awesome. Hopefully, it ends up. I guess either gonna be on Hulu or HBO Max. I can't remember where Adult Swim falls on.
I mean,
they have their own thing too.
Or sorry, Max. It's not HBO Max anymore.
Probably Max.
Also, there was some gaming stuff I saw besides Spider-Man 2. So I guess they fully announced Homelander and Omni-Man will be in Mortal Kombat 1. So there's
not just him.
Months. Wait, what do you mean?
It's also Peacemaker's going to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Peacemaker will be in there. There's like three others that I don't remember.
Three others from Mortal Kombat. So yeah.
Yeah, like older, like ones haven't been in the game for like years, so they brought back a few. But Omni-Man and Homelander, that's gonna be some interesting shit in Mortal Kombat. So I know a lot of fans were talking about it, how it was supposed to drop, a while ago. If you haven't been playing Call of Duty, Homelander's already in it. Homelander, Starlight, and Black Noir are in the game now. It's some crazy shit, crazy time. What else did we see drop? What got announced that dropped that weekend?
Well, it's crazy because I wasn't watching what dropped online. You know what I mean? Not as much when I was there. I probably should have.
There's trailers that I saw, like the new Marvel's trailer, the Dune Part 2 trailer.
Yeah, when you're there at the con, like it's a whole different universe versus what's being released on the internet.
Yeah, I watched it was also
this is something I'm excited about.
Well, I didn't do a lot of panels. That was probably one of the main problems, because people were asking, he was Victor. He was like, "Going to any panels?" And I was like, "I don't want to stand in lines." For me, it was like, if I can get a press, if they send me an email and it's something that I'm interested in, then I'll go and see it. But I don't want to wait in line for a fucking hour. Perfect example. Spider-Man 2 was at Hall H, which is the big hall, right? For me to get into Hall H, they sent me an email about Spider-Man 2. I emailed them back, and then I had to meet somebody outside of Hall H, and then that was it. I didn't really. I sat down in the press area for a little bit because I was walking around for a while, but I could have just literally walked up and then been fine. But I didn't have to wait that long. I didn't have to wait hours to get in to see Spider-Man 2, and I don't like waiting in lines for anything after I was on float for 8 months, and when I was in the Marine Corps, because I had to stand in line for everything, so I don't like lines.
Test. You hit your quota, your line quota. You tapped out.
Yeah, and it's part of me is kind of being a little bougie, but also I don't like lines.
Well, there's something else that I mean I'm not sure if it was or announced at San Diego Comic-Con, but there's a digitally remastered in 4K version of Math of the Phantasm.
Oh no!
Which is one of the best Batman animated movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I don't know when it drops, but I mean it's been a while since I bought a Blu-ray. But if I can watch it digitally,
I think that was one of the first animated movies, comic book movies,
R-rated.
Well, was it R-rated? I don't even know, but it was successful in theaters. What'd you say?
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it's PG-13 because it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
The only one I remember, which had a really big controversy at the time, was the Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, because that was huge.
Because
that was a huge thing because the controversy.
They edited.
They had two versions. Yes, there was an R version and a PG-13 version, and everybody wanted to see the R version. and they wanted it to come to the theater. So there's this huge debate. So it never came to the theater. I think if it did, it was there for like a day, but it was huge on DVD, Blu-ray at the time it was DVD. But that was a big seller. That was a big thing back then. Big controversy.
What's also great about the whole massive Phantasm is that they brought the character back in in Justice League Unlimited. There's an epilogue where you get to learn how Terry McGinnis was created. And
yeah, but I don't.
I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. But like, so Amanda Waller hired the Master of Phantasm to. No, it's not Return of the Joker. It's not Return of the Joker. It's the end of. It's the epilogue. It's the last episode of Justice League Unlimited, and it's called Project Beyond. And basically, Amanda Waller hired the Masters of Phantasm to kill Terry McGinnis' parents, so that she could create a new Batman. And she felt that Batman needs to go through a suffer, because Amanda Waller literally changed the DNA of Terry McGinnis' father to be Bruce Wayne. That's why Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne, they're basically related. That's technically his son, biological son, because Amanda Waller,
his genetic son.
But Amanda Bastard of Phantasm, she didn't want to do it because that's not what Bruce or Batman is about. So she didn't go through with it. But it ended up happening that his father ended up getting killed anyway, and he becomes Batman. But they brought that character back into the very last episode of Justice League Unlimited. And then it rolls into Batman Beyond, or that's how Batman Beyond is created.
I've actually watched that episode.
Cool. I mean, you can find it online.
That part. Yeah, it's on Max. Max has both the original Justice League, the animated series, and Justice League Unlimited on there. And I just watched Justice League Cross RWBY last night. That was some craziness right there.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Yeah, if you're a fan of RWBY, you would need to watch to at least volume 3 to really kind of get it, but not really. If you really want to know what's going on the RWBY side, and then like on the Justice League side, there's a bit more mystery.
The
thing was,
is it a movie or is it?
It's like an hour and a half like movie, but it's part 1. I was like, what the fuck? It's part 1. Like, what the fuck? Because I mean, technically, it ends kind of like if you've seen the current Mission Impossible, like I have, it ends where they resolve certain things, the main plot, but there's still lingering stuff about how it all started that's not answered, and it like kind of leads into that. That's the quote unquote cliffhanger, even though it's not a cliffhanger. It's more like a revelation that hey, someone started this and they just don't know who, but both teams want to find out who did this. So it's pretty interesting. Pretty awesome. So, yeah.
All right, it's getting late.
Yeah, I started watching Batman by Gaslight, but I haven't had a chance to finish it. No, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up.
You don't have to.
No, we can. We can wrap it up. I need to use the men's.
You can wrap it up unless you're a Prodigy, because he's seedless. So
he
need to wrap it up.
This is true.
You only got to worry about STD as the Prodigy. No babies. Gonorrhea, syphilis, all that shit.
Yeah, herpes
you won't have a baby.
Yeah, herpes waffle.
Gynosyphilis.
There you
go. To quote a crazy man, you won't have him for 18 years.
Anyway.
One of your babies got you for 18 years.
I know who you're talking about too, but I just he lost his way. Anyway, old Ninja. Actually, I guess I'll be the person.
Yeah, go ahead.
Blue, what you got going on?
I actually led an interview for the company I talked about a couple of weeks ago on the podcast called Beyond 12, and I'm super excited about it. Like, I'm kind of doing a career change, and I'm going from like project managing to data analyst, and this is my first interview for a role like that, and I kind of knew like what comes with it. So they literally asked me for a sample of my previous codes that I've done in using the Python, which I learned like maybe about a month ago. So I literally just sent them the coursework I did, because that's what they asked for. And so part of my interviews, I have to explain like what my what I have to basically explain the code that I use and how it all works and stuff like that. But then also they have another set of data set in SQL, which I've used in the past. Just pretty much breaking that down.
I like SQL.
But no,
SQL's a nice robust.
Yeah, SQL's fun. Python is really fun too. I wasn't expecting to have as much fun as I did with Python as I did with like learning R or Tableau.
Yeah, R is a little bit more complicated, but Python is basically fucking. It's kind of like Java and C without the bullshit, pretty much.
Yeah, and also like Python just looks pretty compared to like R. Or at least maybe it was the application I was using. Just it looks very like
any
Windows 95.
Any text editor can make it look pretty. I have a text editor; it makes it look pretty. You can literally change the colors wherever the fuck you want. Every keyword can be fucking pink if you want, or fucking default. I think is white. Default's white. You can make it blue if you want. You can make everything blue and like all the bad shit red. Do whatever you want.
But what's cool is that I took a bunch of courses through Coursera, which I don't know. I learned so much through this one fucking site that I've learned than like any other site. Just because like they have these things called guided projects where basically like you work with somebody like almost one-on-one and like you just follow along with how they do something and they explain like exactly what they're doing, like this is the result that's going to happen, so you have a better understanding of what you're doing instead of just like following along with somebody and not knowing exactly what a code does. But it's if you have the opportunity to get an access to Coursera, like there's some really good tools on there and a lot of like really helpful things, and the guided projects is probably what makes it the best, just because you just pretty much learn like hands-on coding, like while you're sitting there typing, you're like typing it up and you're seeing results on your screen, which is cool. So you get like the hands-on thing. I know for California universities, you can get free access. Some of the libraries is part of that system, so you just have to kind of do some research to find out what places there are. But I know here in the city of Hayward, you get access to it, and that's what I've been doing. So everything I've been learning has been free, which is awesome. Awesome. I'm super excited about it. So if I land this job, I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, it's going to be remote, even though they're based out of Oakland. But it's a small company, it's a startup company, which I'm excited about because usually those companies like they kind of treat their employees decent, like you're not just another cog in the wheel. Like your work get noticed. So I'm excited about that. But we'll see. My interview's on Tuesday, so hopefully by next week I'll hear some positive news. But we'll see.
Good luck, man.
Dude, I've been studying my ass off. It's crazy all the stuff I've been doing.
All right. Well,
but once again, I use Coursera, so it's been great.
One time, we'll talk after your interview, Blue, for sure. We gotta stream up.
All right. Old Ninja, what you
got? For me, I'm just trying to keep everything together. So I finished Jedi Survivor finally.
All right.
To B-Boy, yes, I finally gave Vader that work, and then I completed some of the other. Because I guess I felt like Cronus when he's playing God of War. When you're playing the game, I didn't want the game to end. So I was like, I was living in that world. There was so much to fucking do. I was like, I'm doing cool ass shit. But like some of the cool shit was part of the story. I'm like, fuck, if I do this, I'm probably gonna end the game. And sure enough, I fucking did it. But I'm glad I did it because I got other games if I can play it. But it's still fun. I don't want to start over, but they have a new game plus. Or they call it new journey plus, but same shit. But also there was stuff I didn't finish because there's a lot of shit to do in the fucking game, and I might go back to it. But I went back to Cyberpunk because I never beat it, and I guess the DLC is out next month, so I'm gonna try to beat that. I'm gonna probably pick up Street Fighter 6 Monday, maybe Sunday.
I have it, but it's still in the plastic. I gotta unwrap it.
Yeah, I was probably going to pick up a disc version. And then I've been dancing around getting a Switch. So I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I don't think I will. I'm going to probably wait till everything with my dad's services is finished. And then maybe, because we'll see what happens. But for the weekend, I'm just going to probably watch some of these shows. Definitely Strange New World. I already saw They Clone Tyrone. I guess there's some other stuff. Oh, Extraction 2. I haven't seen yet. I know some people have been talking about it, but I may check that out. I'm just gonna be taking it easy until like I gotta take care of business. Yeah.
All right. And for me, I had a really good time at Comic-Con. So thank you to everybody that came on and hung out. Special shout out to VZA and Lando and Jamar, who I got to see in person. That was super cool. And also Bunnyman, obviously, who is doing really big things. I hope to have him back on the podcast sometime soon and talk more in depth about how he came to be the CEO of Oniforce, because our interviews were very short. And I look forward to like being able to talk to him more about that, because the company looks really cool. I have some other comics, and I look forward to buying more of them. Other than that, I got 2 fucking root canals today. So
Today?
Oh shit!
yeah,
Oh,
today.
shit.
Today.
God dang.
Yeah.
How are you still?
How you talking?
Yeah, no, how are you
Real?
talking? And how are you still
It's
upright?
fucking
What the
Chronos AI.
fuck?
No, it is not.
Damn.
This is Cronus. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 2 root
That's
canals.
what an AI would say.
Yeah, that's feathers on my part about my dental health, but it's all good. I'm gonna learn from that shit and just floss better and brush my teeth better and do all the things you're supposed to do the whole time. And also, I think I talked about dental insurance. It's kind of bullshit. So if you think you have good dental insurance and you're just paying normal dental insurance, it's probably gonna pay at max $2,000-$2,500. So if you get a lot of dental work done besides like normal cleanings and shit, you're gonna be fucked, and you might get slapped with an $8,000 bill like me. So there you go. Can you afford $8,000? Hopefully. So if not, take care of your fucking teeth and see them regularly.
Indeed.
I got to hang out with. I got to help my brother out the other day. With some stuff, and it was good to like hang out with him again. So shout out to my fireman brother, and helping out with all of his shit, or some of his shit anyway. It was good seeing him again. I missed the dude, and we went through some shit last year, but I think we've been on the mend for a while, and things are getting better between me and him. So we'll figure our shit out, and it'll be all right. And thanks to everybody who's listening, and Old Ninja, take us out.
All right. You just experienced Black and Black times Infinity, the dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere with B's and BTI. That's BTHANBTI. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, we go live 8:30 Pacific time, 8:30-ish Pacific time on the West Coast. On YouTube, we're live, and we're also live on Twitch now. So we're simulcasting. We're doing big things.
We are.
Check our official website, benheadproductions.com/BTI. We're on pretty much all the social media stuff, except for Threads. We're not on there yet, but we're on X now.
We're on Threads.
There we are.
Are we on Threads?
Well,
Oh, I didn't realize we're on Threads. Well, so we're on Threads then. We're on X.
Formerly, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Formerly known as Twitter. You
not
can email
probably
us.
not for long, because fuck that. We'll talk about it next podcast, but
Yeah.
X is old fucking. It's basically Elon Musk's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, that was his next podcast. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm about to say. Yeah, email us at btbti@gmail.com if you want to join our Discord server, because we got a bunch of shit on there. Like Krona said, the exclusive stuff from Comic-Con is on there if you want to see it and interact and ask questions. It's all on there. And yeah, I think that covers it.
All right.